Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today we are going to be making a crock pot recipe that is really simple and is reminiscent of a recipe that I made a few years ago that was super popular. And that recipe was Mississippi pot roast. It's a pot roast that you can make in your slow cooker, but what's interesting about it is that you use a few packets of seasoning and an entire stick of butter to make what some claim is the best pot roast ever. But today we're going to be making a similar recipe but with chicken and pasta. This is Mississippi chicken spaghetti. Now I'll put a link down below to the original recipe. I found it on All Recipes, and it's intriguing to me to see how this will taste using a different protein and pasta. In my research, the first reference that I could find of Mississippi chicken spaghetti came from Craig Claiborne, who at the time was writing for the New York Times and shared his mother's recipe for Mississippi spaghetti chicken. It's quite different than the one we're going to be making today, but it contained the classic Southern trinity of bell peppers, onions, and celery. It was more of a smothered chicken pasta dish. Here I have my 6-quart crock pot, also known as a slow cooker. This cooks your meal over an extended period of time, which is great because you can kind of just walk away from it and come back to a cooked meal. There are just 2 settings, a high setting and a low setting. So depending on what your schedule is like, you can adjust this recipe based on when you want your meal to be done. Most recently, I've been baking bread in the crock pot. I made a 2-hour yeasted loaf and also a zucchini bread recipe in the crock pot. Who knew? I never knew that you could bake in a crock pot. You can. Into my crock pot, 2 pounds of chicken breast, right in the bottom. On top of that, 1 package of au jus mix. This is a gravy mix that you can purchase that will give us our flavoring and salt. Next, a package of ranch seasoning mix. I think ranch seasoning is unique to the US. If you don't have it where you live, you could substitute some other sort of all-purpose seasoning. This has a little bit of a sour, creamy, dairy, oniony, garlic kind of thing going on, but even onion soup mix would work. So we're going to sprinkle that in there. See, the powder is white. Next, we're going to add some jarred pepperoncini peppers. We're going to add about half a jar along with about a 1/4 cup of the brine. But of course, you can tailor this to your own taste. I believe when I made the pot roast, I used the entire jar, and it did not make the pot roast too spicy. An entire stick of butter. So this is half a cup, right on top. Boom. Now we're going to put the lid on, and depending on your schedule, you can cook it on high for 2 hours or on low for about 4 hours. So I will see you in a little bit, and we will finish up this recipe and give it a taste. See you in a little bit. Alrighty, lovelies, I am back. Da-da-da. Oh, look at that. It looks great. Smells great. There's still plenty of juice in there. Does not look dry at all. There we have it. Now we're going to take out our chicken so that we can cut it up. And look at that, it looks great. Nice and juicy. Ooh, it's just falling apart. And we can take out the peppers as well and cut those up into smaller pieces too. And now we're going to take a block of cream cheese. This is 8 ounces, and we're going to place it in here so it can melt. Just let that sit in there. And take these pepperoncinis and cut off the stem. Just cut them into more manageable pieces. And the chicken will cut up as well. Oh, it's so tender. You just can kind of shred it actually. Don't even need to cut it. I'm going to boil 1 pound of spaghetti. Once the pasta is ready, we want to reserve about a half a cup of the pasta water so we can use it to loosen up the sauce if we need to. Okay, lovelies, our pasta is cooked, and I have whisked in the cream cheese. So we have this kind of creamy sauce. Here is the shredded chicken and pepperoncinis all cooked. I'm gonna give this a taste because I can't resist. Itadakimasu. So flavorful. The flavor has gone all the way into the chicken, super tender, not at all dry, and not overly salty. I thought it would be super salty with those 2 flavor packets in there, but it's not. Just wonderfully seasoned, savory, and just very tasty. Really impressed with how tender and juicy the chicken is. In goes the chicken and the pepperoncinis. Stir that around so that the sauce gets distributed. In goes the pasta. It's good to have a big crock pot. All right, I'm gonna stir this in, and now you see why we reserve some of that pasta water, because as the pasta soaks in some of the sauce, it's gonna get a little tight, and we wanna make sure it's nice and saucy. Add a little bit of our pasta water. Oh, this looks great. Super generous with the chicken here. Lots of chicken in this. Next, we're gonna add a bunch of shredded Monterey Jack cheese. I typically shred my own cheese, but that cheese that was pre-shredded was on sale. So that's what I used. I am going to add some freshly cracked pepper, because I love black pepper. And for garnish, a little bit of green onion. Doesn't that look great? This smells so good. Alrighty, lovelies, my first taste of Mississippi chicken spaghetti. And it looks great, it smells great. Look at that. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. Really good. What I like about it is that it's nicely balanced. There's a lot of dairy in there, cream cheese, stick of butter, and cheese. But the pepperoncini add a nice little touch of heat and a big punch of acidity. So that acid really balances out the dairy, in my opinion, the richness. It kind of cuts it. That's the problem I sometimes have with Alfredo sauces, is that they are too rich for me. But this is really nicely balanced, and it's plenty savory. No need to add any salt in this whatsoever. The combination of ranch dressing and au jus sauce in here is just the right amount of saltiness. Cream cheese too, not overly salty, which I was a little concerned about. And the chicken is wonderful in here too. So tender, smothered in that sauce, and again, perfectly seasoned, and so stinking easy to make. I think I might actually like this better than the Mississippi pot roast. I think I do. And I do recommend cutting up the pepperoncini and placing it back in there, because the pieces are a little bit big. And when you cut it up, it kind of distributes really nicely in there. It adds another punch of acidity and just another textural component as well. Lovelies, there you have it. The Mississippi chicken spaghetti. Highly recommend. Took almost no effort whatsoever. You just have to boil the pasta and dump it in. Super great. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. Oh my gosh, I've already had my dinner before dinner.